What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni and welcome to the War Robots test server 3.2 that is currently going on mobile devices, where we're gonna have a look at the new ideas or changes from Pixonic, okay? That includes the new Rome map that we can see right here. It also includes the yet again changed balancing for the heavy flamethrower weapon, and same goes for the Bastion ability, the Raijin ability called Bastion, right? Now we're here inside this middle beacon, the Colosseum thing on the Rome map, and we have successfully captured this middle beacon because we were fast with this Garrett bot, right? Even though I'm losing now because he's got rockets and my shield is not helping me at all, I'm still successful because I can spawn there really quick in the beacon rush game mode and take him out. So now we have successfully secured the middle point and can operate from in here. You will also see that there are, you can walk up the ramp on this here. I'm going to show this in a second. This ramp here to the side, you can walk up those and jump over the walls up there with a Griffin or the heavy jump bot, for example. I'm not sure if a Rogatka would be able to jump far enough for this. Maybe it would, but it's a little bit hard to estimate right now. But yeah, so you can jump over it and surprise enemies on the other side, but you cannot really walk over it, right? So even if you control the middle point, other than a spawning location, it doesn't really provide you with any strategic advantages at this point, and that's why I'm suggesting maybe you could make it so Pixonic that you can walk up to it and then fire from up above. Then it would be an additional, incentive to control that point too, because it's basically an vantage point, right? You can fire from, just as an idea. And I'm going to also show you later another alternative way to enter that Colosseum. For now, let's just try to attack these guys right here with this heavy jump bot that still has the balancing so that you jump, and after landing, it activates the stealth ability. But they changed it slightly so that while you jump, it's not yet active, right? It should activate after you land and then go on for 5 seconds. And that's kind of interesting because it makes it so that you often get killed in the air still, which it wasn't the case before, but now when you land, you're immune to, basically almost immune to fire. I still think, and if you would want to know my opinion, I still think that the ability to jump and have the stealth at the same time that lasts after the jump is a little bit too much. I would suggest having the stealth ability active during the jump, and yeah, and then after landing, you're basically vulnerable again. Because I'm going to use this. I'm not sure if I show this here in this video, but I have had situations where I jump into 5 enemies and I just take one of them out because I'm invincible after the landing, and after that I'm getting killed, or maybe I walk behind cover. I personally consider this a little bit too much, but it's just my opinion. Let's hear what you guys think about this too, right? And yeah, this guy's right here enjoying his new Bastion mode ability. You might remember the last test server 3.1 where the Raijin had the Bastion mode ability changed, so it has 50% additional damage output when you activate the Bastion mode. So you basically have a third weapon once you activate that. Now they changed this slightly, it's now 30%. So you basically have, how do you say this? Yeah, 1.6, no, wait, you have 30% more firepower. Let's put it like that. I think that's the easiest way to describe this. And you get obviously those 30% from both weapons, which still sums up to be 30% more firepower altogether, compared to your not Bastion mode Raijin, right? And I guess this is also a really, really good idea. I like the change. I like the way they handle this. So we're jumping in here. I purposely have a Natasha here because I wanted to have a silver bot also, not just the gold bots. Also seeing how a silver bot would perform. I wanted to get the aphids on it, but I didn't have enough gold left, so I had to take the spirals instead. The thunders are still quite powerful, but the heavy flamethrower has been changed. So let's speak about that. In the last test server 3.1, it was so that the energy shields had to be taken down again, right? You would not bypass energy shields with a flamethrower. You would bypass the physical shields, but not the energy shield. They had to be taken down. Now, once again, they changed this again, so that now it's as if it was in the first test or something, where the heavy flamethrower now once again penetrates every shield, okay? Including energy or physical. No matter what the enemy is coming with, you always deal damage directly to his bot, no matter what. And I don't know why they did that, because I think most people probably appreciated the fact that the heavy flamethrower would not penetrate all defenses no matter what. At least I certainly did appreciate that in the second last test server, and I wish they would go back to the thing as it was before, where either the energy shield has to be completely taken down first, or maybe my idea that I had where we say, okay, both shields types get penetrated, but only to a certain point. Like, energy shields are being taken down by 50%, but also 50% damage go through the bot, to the bot, and the same goes for physical shields. Because if you ask me, a giant wall of, a shield should protect you in some way from flames, right? And in this way, it would make sense, kind of, to have a 50% penetration and a 50% damage going to the bot on a flamethrower. Something like this, that would be my suggestion, but certainly not penetrating both defenses and without a problem. I'm going to show you in a second what it means to have this way, because I actually picked out the perfect prime example of why this is too crazy. Okay, I'll be showing this after the end of this round. But yeah, so that's the current balancing. They also made it so, I forgot to mention this in the last test server, that physical, projectile weapons, for example, cannons like the Nashorn or the Kang Day, and also weapons like Punishers, Molots, and Tempest, I suppose, they now deal 200% damage against physical shields, which makes sense, right? Those weapons are extremely vulnerable to any kind of defense. They have to take down the energy shield first, they have to take down the physical shields first before they can deal damage. Now, it makes sense that those weapons, at the very least, deal increased damage to the physical shields. I like this idea, I strongly support this one, and yeah, it will make sense. A physical shield should be vulnerable to, big impacts from very powerful projectiles or something like this, right? Should break faster. So 200% weapon damage against physical shields with any kind of projectile-based weapon. I like that, right? It's a good idea. And this is also something I forgot to mention last time. The user interface, I think I've mentioned this. I like this one more than the previous one, and it's also been implemented onto the mobile devices already, with the new hit markers and everything. And also there's a new sound theme. Like I said, I haven't been able to test that because I don't have the music activated. This is the round here, the end of the round. I'm going to still show you a few more things. It was a pretty good round, pretty decent one here. We were able to take the middle point and from there operate very effectively, and that's, I guess, kind of the deal with the roam map. You sit on the, you try to get the middle point, and then from there operate and try to go towards the outsides of the map and capture these other points. And also, what was there? It was something else. Yo, I wanted to show something how you can also get into this thing, into the Colosseum. If you use a heavy jump bot or the Griffin, those two bots have a very high and very far jump. And only one of the sides of the map supports this. If you jump on this thing here, the building, I suppose this will be a building eventually. Right now, it's an early stage of the map, so the textures look kind of low resolution, of course, right? They will probably eventually be buildings with windows and everything. Right now, it's just a block. And this building, if you jump on this one here, and I don't think the other side has that same building, so you can only do it from one side. You can jump with a long or high Griffin jump or heavy jump bot jump into the Colosseum and take it right from under their nose. This is so incredibly cool. Imagine that the enemy would have controlled that point. I would have just jumped in there and taken it from them, and no one would have expected that, right? Really, really cool feature, and here I have the additional idea that makes sure, Pixonic, that you can do this move from both sides, because I think it's an actually super interesting strategic, move. And here I'm going to show you guys why I think that the flamethrower should not penetrate the energy shields and the physical shields at the same time. What we're about to face is an Lancelot with the Ansel shield. This guy sacrificed firepower to be able to have more defenses, right? Now look what I'm going to do to this guy. I'm being attacked by 3 people at the same time in a second, and I'm completely ignoring his complete Ansel shield, his physical shield. Every type of defense is ignored, and this guy, let's go back here, he was almost destroyed. Look at this. Go back again slightly. Here, he was almost destroyed. Keep in mind, I'm dying now, but my flames are still flying towards him, so he's like a sliver of health left, because I had a Natasha. It's not really a big bot now, compared to what you can really do, but it's not a Fury with 3 of them, right? It's just 2, and I had the ECU shields on the sides just to be able to walk into the enemies and being fired upon from the left and the right. I don't care. That was my idea. But here you can see here, I completely ignored all defenses. I think that's way too powerful. My opinion. I would love to hear, guys, what you think about this. Please write down your thoughts in the comments about whether or not you think both defenses should be penetrated, or maybe like the idea I have with 50%, or alternatively, just, you know, at least have to take down the full energy shield before scratching the rest. This right here would be from the feedback form, the changes that have been made: Pinata 5% damage, Pin minus 5%, Aphids plus 5%, Spiral plus 5%, Magnum plus 5, Tulumbas minus 5, Hydras plus 5, Tempest plus 5, Zeus plus 5, Gecko minus 5, Thunder minus 5. So I think that the Pinatas, I don't think there's a reason to really increase the damage output of the Death Button combination with the Pinata and Orkans. I don't see that the Pinata needs to be increased. But maybe you guys see it differently. I just wanted to inform you what's inside the test server. I also had this. And here's one thing at the end that happened to me. Just make sure you don't do the same mistake that I did here when I filled in the test form. Look. I clicked, there was an additional problem where I ended up being on a separate, I loaded into the game, I ended up in a map where only I was, and I had the connection issue displayed. It was not the Rome map, it was another one, and that was a problem. So I'm giving here this as a supplemental information, and then unfortunately, I wanted to send this, basically, and press enter, right? So, am I going to be ever done with writing? Come on, be finished. Yes. Okay, so now I'm pressing enter because it's in this tiny box, right? And what I happen to do by pressing enter is I'm sending the text, the form. And I was like, oh my god, you kidding me, right? I was unable to send my video link in here. Now I'm not getting any rewards from my video because I forgot to do this and I pressed enter. Try not to press enter at that point, just so you guys know, right? But that's pretty, just as a little idea that so you don't make the same mistakes. We're here back in another map while I'm explaining 2 or 3 more things before we're done. You have seen the, you can of course stop the video at the point with the weapon balancing to see which weapon has been increased and decreased. For example, Geckos, minus 5% damage. I think that's a good one, because the Geckos have been incredibly powerful recently, and maybe even slightly too much. I don't know. But hey, why not give it a little bit try and see if you changed balancing things, right? It's not as big as a balance as the one where the Gecko or something received plus 25%, right? The map, I've only shown you like the middle parts of it. I haven't really run around the map. I'm probably also going to make a video or more videos showing the map more in detail. But I think the map is really good. A few words about this before we end, because I haven't spoken much about it. I think it offers exactly the right type of thing between having long range and medium range and short range combat. You can choose wherever you want to engage your enemies. So it's quite kind of cool actually that the map has the perfect mixture of cover and open fields, if you ask me. You can still snipe, but you can also be countered when you snipe, right? So people can sneak up to you and jump over an obstacle and be right next to you. So there's something for everyone inside this map, and that's always what I consider a really well-balanced map. So I like it. I would see like to see this map roam in the actual live game even more than the previous test server with the ship that we had. This one was also quite cool, but the roam map is even more balanced, if you ask me, much more interesting. That's just my opinion at this point. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and comment down below, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe as brutal as a man can hit for more. Thanks for bearing with me, you guys are awesome as always. Manni-Gaming signing off. Bye-bye. And if you haven't yet seen the War Robot Stealing Home challenge that is currently going on, then I'm gonna link another video to the video description for you guys to check it out, right?